When I was 7 years old, I started playing golf out at the old country club off of Upriver Road. That was 65 years ago. And no, 67 years ago. Yeah. So, I mean, I've been around a long time as a kid and as a member. Since I've been 31 years old, I've been a full-time member at this country club. And, you know, we moved here in 1965.
Our family joined in 1967. I was 10 years old. We moved from the other side of town, and so moving over here was like moving to a new town, a new city, new schools, new everything. And, you know, at first I didn't like it. There was nothing out here. Yeah. There was, we moved into a house on the golf course, and there were nothing but cornfields, crop dusters. Saratoga was a 2-lane highway, and there wasn't much out here.
Well, I joined the country club in 1971 after I got home from the Navy, and so I've been a member for 51 years. I've been very active. I played golf. I was a member at the old country club on Upriver Road, and then we moved over here in 1963. I've made a lot of friends on the golf course, and we've taken a lot of golf trips, you know, away from here with all our golfing buddies. So golfing's been a big part of my life. I started playing golf when I was 8 years old. Developed a lot of friendships here, made wonderful friends over the last 51 years. So it's been very enjoyable for me.
As far as business-wise, it's been excellent because I got to know many, many, many people that belong to the club that are the doers in the city of Corpus. And so it helped me in going after other projects because I got to know so many people. My wife and I and my children have always enjoyed the club, and like I think my son told you earlier, his membership of some 29 years and mine of 61 is 90 years of membership. So Charles Donnelly began to take me to the country club for lunch many different times, and I got to thinking, if I'm going to be an architect and I'm going to really get after it, I need to meet people, and maybe the best place is the country club. So I joined in April of 1961. So I've been a member now for some 61 years.
As a kid, when I grew up at the old country club, I mean, it was family oriented. It was a great place to grow up and learn, you know, make friendships and keep out of trouble. And a country club is a fabulous background for a young child.
So I'm fourth generation, and my kids have grown up here we joined so they could do country club camp, and then they started playing golf and swimming, and so I have, Ian's a really good golfer. He learned to golf with Tommy Burke, and my daughter now is doing golf and she really enjoys it, and both of them learned to swim in the pool, so we've been here a long time, and it's been a really important part of our lives, and I'm now a board member, and I'm happy to be a board member on the 100th year.
We are celebrating our centennial celebration this year, and actually we opened in September 4th of 1922. And as I was researching, I found out that President William Howard Taft came and played for our openings. We've also had a lot of celebrities come by and play the golf course, such as comedian George Lopez and others. We are so looking forward to the new century that's coming. I can just see a lot of progress and continued growth with the country club, so I am very proud and honored to be part of the Corpus Christi Country Club.
Joining Corpus Christi, it was a real honor and achievement for me in my life, and big golf background, played junior golf, high school golf, and still an avid golfer, and so it's been fun to see a lot of the changes in the club not only from a golf perspective, but also facilities, tennis, and other things that have really, it's been a unique time to join the club and be a part of the club, because there's been so many big positive changes over the last 5 to 10 years, and are still changing.
What an amazing 100 years of excellence here at the Corpus Christi Country Club. From our great start back in 1922, Byron Nelson winning the Corpus Christi Open here in 1945, through the legendary leadership of Tommy Burke over so many years, which now we have our member guest, the famous Burke Cup, our historic Firecracker golf tournament, and of course our 5-time winner on tour, Phil Blackmar. Our Corpus Christi Country Club is rich in great history and traditions of golf, tennis, families, and friendship. I joined the Corpus Christi Country Club back in 2008 because I wanted to be part of the finest country club in town, with the finest amenities, with the finest people as members and as of staff. Since then, I've met so many great people who I will forever call great friends. I'm proud to have served as your board president back in 2014, and I will continue to contribute whatever our membership and our staff may need to exceed the expectations of each and every member. Thank you for your continued membership. Thank you for your support during these exciting times and changes and the improvements being made to our golf course, to our tennis facilities, and soon to come, this entire clubhouse. They said back in 1922 when we first opened that this club and this course was considered one of the finest in the country. And I believe when we reopen again here later this year, that we will once again all be very proud to be part of one of the finest golf courses and country clubs in all of Texas. So congratulations to you, to everyone, to every member on our first 100 years, and I can't wait to see what our next 100 years have in store for us all.
The Hahn family made us a wonderful deal. They wanted the property where we were on Upriver Road, so they traded us and built us a clubhouse, and traded us like 200 acres or whatever it is here, and then they owned all the property around it, and so they developed country club estates 1 through 14, I think. But yeah, when we got here, it was nothing but crops all around us. The story I always tell us, when we were building the country club out here, I was on the construction crew. I worked for Eisenhower Construction, and I was wearing a big straw hat, and it blew off just as the concrete came into the tube, so my straw hat's at the bottom of the foundation.
The progressive nature of the members at the old country club had a vision of what Corpus Christi was going to turn out to be in the long run. They also had a vision of the petrochemical industry and a good reason to move the old country club over to this side of town. And so I was here when we opened up in '65, and I have a lot of fond memories.
They interviewed architects, and Donnelly and Spear were the ones selected, which was myself. I was very excited. There was I think the manager, Jim Imbardino was his name, and I spent a lot of time visiting with him about the club and what the needs were for a new facility. The bottom line was do it all on one floor, have a suspended slab if possible so that you have access to utilities, and provide as many different devices for being able to decorate for large parties and functions. So from that, we were selected. Donnelly and Spear was selected. We took bids, and when we took bids, the low bidder was a gentleman named Eisenhower. He happened to be a member of the club. He absolutely wanted to do the construction, and so he bid extremely low, in my opinion. At the board meeting, after we opened the bids, I ask the board to please consider taking the additional, we had some alternates to upgrade areas of the club. And I said, we got such a good price, we need to take it all. They all agreed, and we did so. It amounted to the club being built at $17 a square foot, which was an unbelievable price at that time. And of course, it would never happen today. It would be somewhere in the neighborhood of $200 to $250 a square foot.
Since the country club opened, we were just the club and the club estates, but it has grown tremendously, and we have enjoyed the growth that has come from it. Our members are from all over, particularly this side of the area. So we have a lot of people come from King's Crossing, used to be here, and it closed down. So we were able to help them relocate and be part of the Corpus Christi Country Club.
It wasn't too long ago that the Corpus Christi Country Club was on the outside of town. You know, Saratoga Boulevard was farms and fields. Now we're kind of center city, and it's been exciting to see all the growth on the south side to encompass what is now the center of the south side, the Corpus Christi Country Club. There's a lot of great traditions here at the Country Club. I think of first our Christmas party, a big celebration in December for all the members to socialize and break some bread together and enjoy some good entertainment. Some of our great golf tournaments are very memorable to me. The Firecracker, the Burke Cup. There's just so many great friends here and stories told and evenings spent together, whether it be in the pub or on the golf course or at the swimming pool. Just a great group of members, people I will always call friends.
Two sons grew up here, and we grew up on Greenbrier, right next door to the club. So my boys were always over here. We played in the tennis program for years. And then I started playing tennis after I got hurt on the golf course, but I went back to golf. So I've mainly played golf, but my wife was a big tennis player. My two sons were big tennis players. And we used this swimming pool. We used the dining facilities. We've used it all.
You know, we've developed a very good tennis program. You know, they've got a lot of kids involved. We have a swimming program in the summer. We have a lot of events here as far as parties, weddings. You know, you have the King's Ball, you know, you have big events, and there's some big weddings out here. I mean, we got a great workout facility. It's just an environment that just grows on you. I mean, I'd do anything for this country club if I could.
I have two daughters and a son, and we used the club. Gosh, we had deb parties. We had went to wedding parties. We attended many, many, many functions at the club. My son, Tim, served on the board at least 2 different times. Also, he's on the grounds committee maybe 3 to 5 times, and presently is on the grounds committee. Every function that we had for any of my children, they all took place at the country club. Be it a deb party, whatever it might be, it all happened here at the club.
I always like the fact that everybody knows who everybody's kid is, and so for the most part, even the staff know who they belong to. If they get lost, they're going to find you. And I think it's been a nice place to have tradition to, you know, spend a particular holiday here, or to spend, you know, a particular night here. We spent, you know, my favorite thing to do is eat nachos out at the pool. I even order ponchos when I'm in the dining room. We don't even have it on the menu anymore, but I still order ponchos because that's my favorite thing at the club. Enchiladas are still the best thing that they ever made. So there's all those little things that are part of you remembering and home and comfort. So those are some of the nice things about the club. And it's kind of nice too, because my parents' friends all are here still, so I, you know, keep up with stuff. My dad's golf group, you know, they'll text me if they're checking on my parents or something. It's just a nice environment where you know that people everybody knows about everybody here and keeps up with them. It's a nice social thing. You know, we've done a lot of stuff. We do all the big holidays, and I have, you know, pictures with Santa, pictures with the Easter Bunny, pictures from Halloween. You know, they had the hayride around. So some of those things I think are still good and bring value and are wholesome, fun family things that everyone can do together. I do like the fact that we're looking at, you know, we were out of town for Labor Day, but they ended up, even though it rained, they had Jumpy House in the ballroom. So, you know, who can do Jumpy House in the ballroom? I think the staff are creative about that, and they're looking at ways to do new things and think about things that people want to do. That, you know, we've worked on Bunko night. They've got a movie night stuff going on. They've got all different things to just try and hit all the different ones. We had a tequila tasting the other day, which was really great. And I don't like tequila, so I was surprised that it was as good. I was surprised that I liked tequila as much as I did, but you know, it was something different. It was something to do here and support the club and make sure that, you know, all our members are having things that are interesting and fun to do. Lots of weddings, receptions have been here. I've been to a lot of those. I've been to a lot of Deb parties here. Every year, coronation events happen here, Queen's Luncheon, the King's Ball. Lots of things. I have decorated this place from head to toe several times for people's parties. It's got a nice flow to it when you have those kind of parties, and it can be a small party or a big party. So it's been a great venue to have in the community. A lot of charity golf tournaments come here. You know, I remember when other golf courses were built, and it looked like this one might not be okay, but it seems to be the one that's lasted, and we have a loyal membership that's really, you know, supported everything, you know, that goes on here, and hopefully we can be united on that front.
My kids grew up here. I actually moved back into the house that I grew up in, over on number 11 Fairway, and my kids had the opportunity to grow up here because I was a member, and you know, I've got great memories of family events, the Thanksgiving and Mother's Day and Easter buffets was, you know, we had sometimes 12 people on a table or something. We've had a lot of fun up here, and you see everybody you know, and a lot of good memories. I like this facility because it's kind of it's a party facility the way it's laid out. You know, they've had a lot of good, but we've been to wedding receptions and other Deb parties, the King's Ball, that's a big blowout, and and my kids have gotten to participate in all that.
Dining here at the Corpus Christi Country Club is always outstanding. First and foremost, our food service staff, from the chef to the food and beverage director down to every server, they pay such great attention to detail. It's much appreciated. We enjoy dining here, and some of the best parts about dining here is you're dining with friends. People are visiting each other's tables. You see people you may have played golf with that day, or friends maybe you haven't seen in a month or so. So it's a good place to catch up with old friends and enjoy some good meals together.
We've always felt that the food is fantastic. In fact, eating in the 19th hole, I can always remember every morning after playing golf what a great hamburger I got. And in fact, the hamburger that the club fixes is probably the best in Corpus.
Well, the old times are just centered around Tommy Burke and all the friends. I mean, we had Charlie Emery, we had Wayne Lundquist, we had his brother Steve, we had Dick Adams, we had Jim Wheeler, we had, you know, just 15 or 20 young golfers that were very good golfers. And Tommy took us, like I said earlier, took us under his wing, taught us everything we know, and it was just a wonderful experience to grow up out there. I mean, you know, we had waiters that treated us like their kids, and you know, Paul and Percy and Fred and Bertha, and you know, they were all just wonderful people. And and you just, you know, you had a nice teen room out there that you could gather on Sunday nights and watch movies while the parents were in having cocktails at the old piano bar. They had a beautiful piano bar that was off the, kind of like the grill. You know, we kind of had a little area coming out of it next to the piano bar for kind of kids where we ate. And then they had a little grill area, and then they had a ballroom and a formal dining room. But you know, that little piano bar, I wished we had it here today because it was cool.
I learned to come up to the country club and learned how to play golf up here. I had played a little bit of golf, but Tommy Burke was our golf professional forever. I don't know how long he was the golf pro. So I came up here and started hanging out and met some friends. And during the summer, when we were out of school, basically lived up here. I mean, you know, I'd come up here early in the morning and we'd play golf, come in and eat a cheeseburger and have a pink lemonade, and we got to be pretty good. We had a very good junior program in Corpus Christi at the time. A lot of good players here, and my claim to fame, I won the junior club championship back-to-back, 2 years in a row. And then I hadn't done anything in golf since, but that was my claim to fame. All right. But yeah, Tommy was, he was very close to all the young kids. He loved junior golfers, and we had a bunch of them up here. But I used to caddy up here. We had caddies, and there were some, you know, I'd like when I was in junior high school, I was up here caddying for some, Bob Winslow, Gordon Reed, Tommy Wright was a really good player that's over in Rockport now. Some of these other gentlemen have passed away, but we had some really good players. We had our July 4th golf tournament was a big, big deal. It was like a 5-day tournament. Now our big tournament is our member guest, the Burke Cup, named after Tommy Burke, the gentleman I mentioned earlier. But that July 4th was a big deal, and we had some really, really good players, a lot of good college golfers that came down that are now pros. I know Andrew McGee was here, some really good players from, I know University of Texas had some good golfers down here. I mean, these were golfers that were shooting way under par. You know, it was some, and we'd have every golf cart out there watching some of them play, you know, when it came down to the...
My dad has had 9 holes in one at this golf course, and he did the last 3 in pandemic. And he also, at 84, shot his age, which is a pretty big deal for a golfer.
I played golf probably every Saturday when I was in town, and a lot of times with my son Tim. And on one particular Saturday morning, back in August the 4th, 1990, I had a hole-in-one on number 17. And this is the plaque that was given to me for the hole-in-one. And it's something I've always remembered because not too many golfers ever have a hole-in-one.
Right.
Yeah.
The old course had a lot of character, probably much more character than we had at this club up until now that we're reconstructing our golf course. And it was just a wonderful place. And, you know, I met a lot of good friends, and we've had a lot of good people that I keep in touch with, and, you know, had the best hamburgers from Mrs. Blankenship you ever put in your mouth.
A lot of changes on the golf course. We've had green renovations, we have effluent water, and various other things that have been done. But mostly now that I am so proud and happy to be part of is the complete renovation of the golf course.
We essentially have a brand new golf course. We changed some tee box locations, we changed some greens, we took out bunkers, we added bunkers, we moved greens over. It is a brand new golf course, And so I think that that's one of the things that people are going to be surprised is they're going to walk out there and yeah, it's going to be nice, but it's going to be like, wow, this is a different place. And we've just got a great support staff with our golf pro, with Brent, with Seth Smith and his crew on the superintendent side. We couldn't have picked a better group to spearhead that project.
About every 20 years, we've revamped it. Robert Trent Jones was our original architect, but approximately every 18 to 20 years, we've redone all the greens out here since when it moved to Everhart. And this is just another step to improve our golf course. I think it's going to be wonderful once it's finished.
The fact that the club had the whereabouts to move forward, which was quite a big move based on the dollars that it required. I think it's going to be real good for the club. I think redoing the golf course, all the improvements that they're doing there, I can't wait to go play golf.
Yeah, I've played in many tournaments. I was the club champion in '96. Then I won the member guest some year. I can't remember when. Then I was a senior champion. And I always tell everybody, there's only about 2 or 3 golfers that are club champion and the senior champion and the member guest champion. And the trifecta.
In 2019, after playing in my first Burke Cup tournament as a guest and winning it with my partner, and then I became a member. I think club was closed on Monday, and I became a member on Tuesday.
There's no doubt Corpus Christi Country Club's golf course has always been one of the finest in all of South Texas. But the renovations we're undergoing today are going to make it even that much better. There's a lot of new challenges out there with different tee boxes. Some are going to be longer shots, some are more shaped shots, some are more strategic with some bunkers in different places. And most importantly, I think every single one of the 18 greens has changed in contour, where there's different undulations, and there'll be tremendous opportunities for great pin placement. So the membership is just excited, overwhelmed, and anticipating the reopening of this golf course. It's going to be fantastic.
It's very satisfying to see what has happened over these last few years, and just look to keep that going and setting a great precedent for future boards and the future of this club as a whole.
But hopefully with this new improved golf course, and then after that we're going to improve the clubhouse, we'll be able to draw in some good young families.
Today's board of directors is on the cutting edge of what country clubs are going to be about in the future. In the past couple of years, we've renovated the pool to put in a little play area for the kids. We've renovated the fitness center, but I can tell you the current board is working on a project with the entire clubhouse renovation that's going to bring many more family-friendly activities, amenities, and for young families.
With our new golf pro, Brent Blackburn, he has revitalized and almost from a grassroots standpoint created our junior golf program. And the number of young kids running around this club that are not just in the pool or just running through the place like wild Indians, they're on the golf course, they're on the driving range, they're on the putting green, they're inside the clubhouse doing different practices and drills, and that has, I think it's undeniable, has resulted in a lot of new young family members that we didn't have in the past.
I anticipate a lot of growth with the Corpus Christi Country Club. This is almost, we're starting a new century, but it's almost like a rebirth of the Corpus Christi Country Club because we have new tennis courts, we have new grounds and golf course out there, and hopefully we'll be looking into the future of something to do with this clubhouse actually. So lots of growth that I see in the future.
I can't say it any more strongly. It's just a super environment for kids. If they like to play tennis and they like to play golf and they like to swim, they have the summer camps in golf, swim, and tennis. They have a good amount of children that come out here and participate in that. And I mean, it puts them where they should be.
I think that the future is bright. I think that the golf course is getting that done, and it's basically is paid for. I mean, we borrowed the money, but it's all allocated to the golf course, and there's some additional funds that are, I don't know what the board's going to do with them, but I really think the golf course is going to springboard everything.
It's an honor to be on the board at this time, and very satisfying to know that we've all had a hand in really sometimes kicking and screaming and clawing into a new kind of era of the country club. But I think that everyone is going to be very happy once it's done, and continue to support what we're doing. This is a great place. It's only going to get better, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
It's been a big part of my life. I've growing up here, and my kids, and met so many good friends up here, and I'm just I'm glad we're 100 years old, and I'm looking forward to the next 100.
Great.
So I'm gonna raise a cup to the next 100 years.